Hi and welcome back. We're here at Chapter 2 in Dr. Reverend L. Randolph Brooks' book on the institution of patriotism. And Chapter 2, sir, is on nationalism.
Nationalism.
I don't mean disrespect, but what does nationalism has to do with patriotism?
Dr. Harold, that's a very poignant question and one that I grappled with while trying to put the information together.
Okay.
And so I had to go back and look up the definition of nationalism. And I want you at home and your webinar to look it up. Don't take my word for it. Go look it up. And nationalism, in its original intent, is exactly what I've been touting what patriotism ought to be. So why the difference? Why do we need to talk about it? Because from its original intent, it's now thought that nationalism is I'll do anything that I'm asked to do by my leaders, by my government, without question. Now with that definition, or that practice, or that application, it kind of resembles communism.
Okay. So you're getting a little bit straight here.
It looks a lot like socialism. However, the powers that be have let us believe that the original definition applies, yet the actual practice is what it is today. And so we think we are patriots.
Okay.
If you ask any person who's a nationalist, is I love my country.
Yeah.
Because you are operating, and I am operating, on the original intent and original definition. The self-seeking, self-serving, money-hungry, grubbing politicians and career-minded folk are operating on this operational practice.
Okay.
And we have to stop believing the hype. We have to start questioning our government. Is it in my best interest? Is it in the community's best interest? Is it in the tribe's best interest? And once you understand yes or no, if it is, then it is. If it isn't, then let's do something about it. But a nation is consisted of many tribes and people groups.
Okay.
And you know what I'm talking about. It's not just one person. Are we all the same? It says we're all created equally, but does that mean we are all created the same? Do you like the same color shirt that I like? Not at all times.
Yeah.
Do you like the same foods that I like? Not at all times. Do you like the same car, the same house? Did we go to the same school? Did we read the same books? No, we're created equally, but we're not created the same.
Yes.
And there's a definition of insanity that I'm sure you've heard. I didn't pin this, I didn't make this up. And insanity is defined as doing the same thing the same way and expecting different results. Let me help you out. Let me unpack it. If I want to make a cake, I put in the flour and the eggs and the oil and the flavoring and the milk, and I stir it all together. And I bake it at a certain temperature, perhaps 350 degrees for 45 minutes. I have to grease the pan and do all of those things. Now, I want to make a cake. And I put in everything except the milk. Do I have a cake?
No, sir.
No. But I continue to do that. I continue to miss an ingredient. I continue to mix all of these things together, and I expect a cake. You would come into my house, even if you were not a cook, and you'd read the recipe. You said, Dr. Brooks, that's insane.
Right.
Just follow the recipe. Listen, I'm going to give you the recipe for patriotism. we're going to go back to the original intent of nationalism, and those two emerge. Those two are good for us. Those two are good for our country and our families. And we're going to make a cake. And you're going to enjoy the cake. For no longer will you continue to do the same thing the same way and expect different results. You'll do different things a different way, and you'll get a different result.
Wow.
And that's called movers and shakers. And I know that there are literally hundreds of you, thousands of you who are going to be changers. You're going to be. I see it in you. I believe it in you. And I know that you can do it. I know that you can.